Where is the... Aha! Alrighty. Beautiful. Good morning, hackers, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever it happen to be in the world. And welcome to Global Hack Week Data. I'm hyped to be here. Hopefully you're hyped to be here. Let me go ahead and pull up a couple of things that we are going to need to get started. First and foremost, if you would like to follow along with our GitHub repository as we make it, that is going to live right in here. So that is where you can find all of our lovely information for the project. Also, we'll be using it to track issues, track our progress, things like that. So feel free to give that a star or a fork or whatever system or medium works best for you. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring back the music. I'm going to keep it pretty quiet, just like as a little underneath thing. And then we're going to opt for a slightly more chill one. I think that one's good. Sweet. Now I'm going to go ahead and, as always, pop on our ask questions in the chat banner. I love making our stream super fun and interactive. So please make sure that we're stopping by mlh.io/events. And then 10:042. Yeah. So this is our check-in link for this one. You can find that right on here. And I'm going to also post this right up on the chat here. But yeah, hi everybody. Welcome. Come on in. My name is Kari. I am a coach here at Major League Hacking, and this is my third Global Hack Week data, and I can't even count how many Global Hack Weeks. You may know me from previous Global Hack Weeks as the warm girl who likes making mobile apps. I will stick to that. That is definitely my MO. I love it. I enjoy it. Other things that I do is I'm actually currently a teacher. I teach computer science, so this is very much in my wheelhouse. Although some of the stuff that I teach tends to be a little bit less, I wouldn't say that. But I do have a pretty fun time teaching lots of block-based stuff and kind of like introductory programming concepts. And this is my little medium to experiment and have fun and make cool apps, which is exactly what we're going to do today. So this is a 4-part series. We're going to be building out a little app called, nice. I have such a soft spot for mobile apps. For those of you who don't know where I'm coming in from, I have a primarily mobile app background. So although like I now teach and I do a lot of coaching and I've been in hackathoning for quite a long time. So it's very, very fun. I definitely hold a soft spot for them. And they're one of the ways in which I stay pretty involved in techie stuff. But let me go ahead and set up my coding environment here for a second so you can go ahead and get started. In the meantime, I'm also going to go ahead and share my screen here. This is going to have my little GitHub repository. So yeah, welcome to Big Battles. Right now it is super bare bones. All we have is the blank README, our little MIT license, and our Swift specific git ignore. So what we're going to be using to build this out is, well, a bunch of different stuff. So first off, this is going to be, right? This is Bit Battles, a data-driven gamification platform. Let's see what Xcode is beeping at. No, not updates. Oh, I need to update my computer to have predictive code completion. You know what? We will deal with that in a little bit. But let me look at my system settings super quickly. I thought I updated everything earlier. But looks like I forgot. Yep, I'm still on Sonoma. Rip me. Anyway. Oh, we can't see my screen. That's right. Okay. That's better. Anyway, welcome to Bit Battles, which is our little mobile app GitHub page. Like I mentioned, feel free to give it, feel free to follow it through right on the GitHub link right on here. And then we also have, then have just kind of three things in here right now: our gitignore, our license, and our README file. So to give you a brief overview of Bit Battles and what I have planned for it, this is data-driven by platform, designed to teach basic computer science generally that is our idea, right? For that data-driven gamified platform designed to teach basic computer science. I can't zoom in, but I can make the font a little bit bigger, at least on this one screen, and see if that helps going forward. If anything else is too small, just go ahead and flag that for me. And we'll make that font a little bit bigger for you. I have a really big screen. It's part of my new setup. So hopefully, I might be able to see a little bit better than you can. Which is totally fine. So let's go ahead and create a new project. And for that, we're going to create a new app. It'll be Swift UI and Swift. We won't do any testing. We won't do any storage for this one. We'll host it on CloudKit. We'll call Bit Battles. Host it in my team. Let me save it to my lovely little MLH folder. Oh, create a good repository mock. Combine to Git repositories. We're off to a fun start. Yeah, so we might need to open up my terminal and get started on some stuff. But first and foremost, we're also running an iOS download. But yeah, let me talk a little bit about the idea behind gamification, which is a fun and long word. I'm going to type into vacation, which I'm going to type into the chat right here. Except I've lost access and I can't see. There we go. That's better. Wi-Fi seems choppy. But generally, the goal behind our application here is to focus on this lovely concept of something called gamification. If you are not familiar, gamification is the idea behind creating and changing various different tools, specifically most commonly used in education, and making those into games. So within gamification ideas, you have things like point systems, barters. I'm trying to grab a pencil so I can also take notes on my little paper while we do stuff. But doing things like barters or trades or exchanges, earning points for quizzes, being able to buy swag or in-game currency, and things like that tends to be the idea. Gamification, as applies to education specifically, is providing those rewards for educational-based incentives, right? So an application like Duolingo is a great example of not necessarily as much gamification, but there are some gamification concepts involved, right? You have 5 hearts that you get unless you're a super subscriber or you have some free trial or anything like that, right? We have 5 hearts. As you make mistakes, you run out of hearts. You have opportunities to earn back hearts by doing practice or answering frequently missed questions or doing things like that. But generally, those hearts replenish over time to encourage you to do various activities as you work, and also to work more consistently instead of chunking your learning into like one incredibly long sprint. We know from educational research that isn't necessarily the best thing for you. So I generally, for those of you who missed my little beginning spiel, I'm currently a teacher. And I teach Introduction to Computer Science, and it's been really fun to experiment with different ideas of how like my students learn, and what I can do to improve their learning outcomes. And so while I'm not probably going to take a project like Bit Battles into my classroom anytime soon, I wanted to take this chance as like, Global Hack Week and this fun medium where I get to interact with other peeps. Get this chance to really explore what fun projects we can build out, kind of applying some data concepts and these gamification ideas into building out some really cool MVP for some intro computer science stuff. That is a very lofty goal for the next 8 hours, but we are for sure gonna give it a nice and lovely stab. So looks like I'm about 76% downloaded on my project in here. I am going to go ahead and find in a second my lovely project and where I put it. So I'm going to open up a terminal window, and to not kind of sell myself out for a second, I'm going to put back the GitHub link on here if you would like to follow along, give it a star or follow or whatever. In the meantime, I'm going to fix an issue that I did entirely for myself. So yes, terminal can access these. And then I'm going to go ahead and clone my old Git repository. Do that in here. And then you know what? We're going to start over with that. Yes, I'm aware that this will say I deleted the whole thing. Close it. Yes, close it. We're going to instead create a new project. All right, and I'm going to open this up and share my screens in here. Ones versus zeros. So true. Let's see. Share my screen. Share my little screen. Here's my little screen. I can't see my screen. Why not? Hold on. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close that. We're going to close my Steam library. And then why is that still not showing Xcode as a screen that I could share? That's just the shutdown screen, so that's not helpful. I don't want you to see my whole screen. Maybe we could extend my display very quickly. Let's see what we can do there. Let's extend my display to the second laptop. All right, there we go. Looks like I'm back. I'm gonna bring back the ask all of your questions in the chat. We're gonna remove my little comment that says I've got technical difficulties. Although I think a bunch of us could have probably figured that out. Oopsies. Thank you. My apologies for that. My entire computer just completely crashed while I tried to use the external display, which, yikes. Either way, we're back. We're ready to get started. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new Xscript project. So I'm going to share. That's not the share button. That's the change the camera button. Either way, we should probably change my avatar so it's my lovely face. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Beautiful. All right, nice. So you should be able to see my little welcome to Xcode screen now. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. I'm going to share this screen as well. It won't let me. Awesome. So in that case, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new app. Call it, like we mentioned, Bit Battles. Pop it into my actual team. Interface Swift UI. Click Next. And then instead of creating the Git repository on Mac, we're just going to go ahead and use the existing Git repository that I make. So now I'm going to go ahead and do git add cd into here, git add all, git commit -m, initial commit, and then git push. Cool. All right, so now we should be able to see. We saw my VS Code for a split second a while ago. I know we did. So we're going to share my screen, and that will be back. Fingers crossed, hopefully. There we go. Share my screen. Can we see my little code environment now? I think we can. So we're going to go ahead and move this out of here, move this out of here, move that out of there. Beautiful. We're here. We're live. Technical difficulties are never fun, but we're trudging on through. All right, perfect. So we got this right in here. You can't see anything from there, so we're going to do about that. And we're going to do about this. Yeah, just so I can see everything. Awesome. So this is our initial app layout. We're going to use Swift and Swift UI to build out this app. As you can see, I've already pushed what I've done so far over into our Bit Battles file. All right, so that is straight in our project. We have our actual Xcode project, some assets, and things like that. Now, I want to be able to do a couple of things today, and I've brought a list actually of things that I want to walk through, of kind of a general idea of screens that we're going to want to build out. So the first one that we want to build out is our login or our registration screen, right? So our login or registration. So our login or registration will be used for tracking new or existing user accounts, right? So that'll be one of the first things that we focus on. And I'd love to hook up a functional front end and back end to these guys. And I think we can work on that today. Next thing we're going to do is our home screen, which will have a couple of different features. Number one, we're going to have some progress tracking. Number two, we're going to have some lesson guides, right? Lesson entries. Number three, we will have lesson reviews. Then we will have, our little individual lesson pages. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we will offer some app analytics on a profile page. Cool. So that is our general plan of action. For today, I want to be able to kind of create out our initial workflow for all of these different files. So initially, when we start off the app, we're going to start off in the content view, but I'm actually going to rename this. So if I open up this window, nope, that's not the one. This one, yes. Yes. We want to rename this to be login view.swift. And in here, we'll also go ahead and rename this right in here. Call this login view and call it login view also down here. So we have access to that. Now in our BitBattles app, we also want to be able to open up login view right as we start. And we should now have changed the name everywhere where it's important. And so we're taken straight back to our hello world screen. Let's go ahead and run this on the big device just to make sure that that name change didn't mess up anything. But we should be good to go from there. We're going to go ahead and set up our general app kind of structure for our front end. And then we will set up our kind of user auth and our back end as we work through login and registration. So we'll go ahead and do that in a second. Let's think through some of the kind of general ideas behind this app that I want to offer, right? So first thing is I wanted to go ahead and use GitHub issues, which I don't know how many of us are familiar. Also, I'm gonna make sure this looks good. What's that link? Oh, I need access to my developer tools apparently. Okay. There you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this quick little app trial in the background while I walk through GitHub issues. So for GitHub issues, and I'm gonna do this by share this other screen instead. For next time, hopefully we'll have the double screen thing fixed. I'm gonna run some updates on my computers tonight. But generally, I wanted to track some of my milestones using GitHub issues. So in here, we will have our login and registration workflow. So on launch, the user will be taken to the login screen. Unless they have an existing authentication token we can use instead. From the login screen, the user can sign in with SSO, Apple or Google, or register a new account. For registration, a user will use SSO with Apple or Google, then provide various PII to create their account. PII, let's see, that will be a username. An email address should be already attached, associated with SSO. And then also And then as a new account is created, a new user instance will be created in our database to store as a new account to store user information about their progress. Then it will say a username to create their account. As the account used in our database to store user information about their progress. Then the user will be taken to the home screen. All right, so that's kind of, long story short, now on GitHub, we can see in our issue, like our login and registration workflow. So let's try and break this down into multiple issues. So number one, this is going to be create a login and sign and register front end with user front end. Then number two, connects login button to database Firebase. Then connect registration to database. Create a new DB record for registered users. Let's do perform a check for the account. Create a new DB record for fresh registered users. Take users to a username selection screen. And then finally, redirect all users to the homepage. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of work this through waterfall style. So we're going to start off with creating our login and our registration front end over on our application. So as I'm thinking through what I want our login screen to look like, I'm immediately thinking of like different color schemes and different login screens that we could follow. Kind of thinking through what our application look like. And I do kind of want to think through a general color scheme that we want to have. So I do have already, which is going to make me sound like such a nerd, but a favorite app for generating color schemes, and then also an accessibility color checker. our little contrast checker here, also on coolers, then our starting generator here. We would probably need to share my screen again. Then as I'm thinking through different login ideas, let's see. I really like the idea of, oh, you can see I'm looking at color stuff. Let's share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at too. So I'm looking at a nice little fun color scheme generator, and I want to pick, see if I can find something. I love coolers. Let's explore trending pattern for app. And I really like the idea of going red. I don't know why. I think it'd be really, really fun. Maybe this like red and blue one, but I don't know if that isn't too aggressive. This one might be too muted. This one seems too fall. This one could work. Let's see if we can open this one. And actually, let's maybe open it in the generator. Let's see if we can see how these colors all match together. So if I undo this and move this one over here, I'm trying to figure out what color combos. Obviously, these two look really nice together. So it looks great on pretty much all of these. The blue looks great with the red. These two look really good together. Let's check some contrast before we move on. So I'm going to type in these lovely little hex codes straight into our contrast checker and see what colors work well together. So 780000 with 669 BBC. So that is poor for that, but I think more commonly we'd probably do that at the background color. And 669 BBC is the thing. That's not a great match. So let's see if instead we could do, I'm sure that the FDF 0D5 shows up great. Yeah. How does that look on the 669 BBC? Not great. Yeah, very poor. Does look really nice though. Yeah. And then what do we got in here is instead try it on the 3003049. That one's going more than fine. And then also on the C1121F. That one is also more than fine. What about this blue on that red? Yeah, that's not visible at all. But I'm assuming this should be more than fine. Yeah. So then going back and looking at these colors, I'm thinking we could maybe get rid of this red one and use this white as our primary text, this dark blue as our kind of primary background, and then these two as our contrast colors as we kind of begin to create things. Or even we could use this as a background for some things, and then this as some contrast colors. I like the idea of using like this as background, this is contrast for like a login screen. There's an inspo I'm looking at on the right hand side here, or sorry, on the left, my left, that I really like, that I think. But generally, I think these four colors would work really well. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this over into our GitHub page just so we have some track of it. Color scheme, paste that in here, comment in on that so we have it. I think it's time to kind of think through actually designing this app, which is fun. Trying to build a front end and a back end from scratch on your own can be a little bit chaotic, but I think we can do it. So first, I think we need to kind of design some form of, as I'm thinking of how I want to lay this out, right? I'm thinking logo goes at the top right here, right? 2 buttons, almost like 2 little circles. One that says like sign in with Apple, one that has sign in with Google. Then on the bottom here, a little create account instead that I think would work really, really well. So let's go ahead and see if we could come up with some general design ideas. So maybe as we kind of think through the app, I'm thinking, yeah, the background, right, is going to be our in our little off-white. So that's going to be, I'll spoil my fun potentially. We'll do dot background. Color. Color being the red, the green, the blue, and the alpha. So that's the other fun thing, is that I have to figure out the red, green, and blue on this. So RGB 253, 240, and 213. Oh, this is the 253 divided by 255, 243 divided by 255, and then or 240 divided by 255. And finally, our blue is going to be 213 divided by 255. And then our alpha is just going to be 1.0. And that sets the background over just this. So instead, we're going to do the dot background, and then finally the dot ignores. Okay. I do not like that. Let's see. Background. Padding, yes. No, that's just adding the padding to the object. That's for the whole login view. That definitely doesn't work. Wasn't it? Couldn't you wrap the whole thing in a Z stack? And then instead of that Z stack, go ahead and create a new, like into this Z stack, add in the dot background. Now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe it needs to surround the Z stack. No, think of that. No. Accept. Expected declaration. Let me figure this out. How to add a background color in Swift. I'm overcomplicating it. I don't know why I'm doing it with the dot background modifier. I don't need the background modifier. There you go, beautiful. So that's our initial kind of background, right? And then instead, I'm gonna go ahead and add in our logo, our name, right? Which is gonna be Bit Battles. And then we will have a slogan. All right, so this is dot font, or let's see, font style. Title, right? So that changes it. Potentially large title, maybe, right? Or dot headline. Okay. That looks cool. We'll get rid of that globe. I don't think we need it. And then dot. Font weight, dot bold, dot font. Having bold is active. Italic monospace, strip through underline line limits. Font width, foreground style, italic monospaced. Doing monospaced actually. And then let's see. How do I change the size of the font? My goodness, there's been so much this stuff. Change size of font in Swift UI. Let's see. Oh. And then bold. Right. Maybe do 32. And then we will do for that actual background color, or for that actual text color, we can do Russian blue. That will be in here. I want to create a library of colors for the app already, I'm thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. File. We'll do this as colors.swift, and then let's see, create a color file in Swift. All right, trying to remember how I would do this. There we go. Yes, perfect. So that's what I was looking for. Import Swift UI and then create an extension of the color class. And then custom background, or we'll do custom white, these of color, and then we will return the color of UI color, and then post all of these, right? So we'll grab this instead. And then we'll say color of type custom white. Do I need to add in the extension in the same file? Or it's dot. There we go. That'll do it. Such silly little mistakes. Or is that not working? Why is that not working? Why are you not working? You should work. Mm-hmm. And then I think instead you should be able to just use color.custom white. Like that. That should work. I think we finally got it. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know why I overcomplicate things like this for me. But sometimes it's fun, I guess. I will clean up our code a lot. Static let custom navy be equal to a color. Right, color. Where's the colors? Where are the colors? 0, 48, 73. Nope, that's VS Code. We don't need that today. 0, 48, 73. And then Rolex static and then custom blue is going to be here 102, 155, 188. And then 188. And then finally, custom red, we will set as 120.00. Cool. All right, just like that. Those are all of our colors. And then background color. Anything got background color? Custom. What? Since when are we replacing foreground color? Foreground style. Okay. Well, let's figure out how to use this foreground style thing. Use foreground style in script. Or change text color in script. That's better. Dot foreground style. Why does my navy not look navy? $0.4873. RGB. Opacity 1. So why does my navy not look navy? It looks gray. Now let me try it if I just replace this. No, that looks pretty navy. It's just because of how small it is. Okay, let's do 40 then. Yeah, but battles, sure. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and below that, HStack, in which we'll have 2 little sign-in buttons, one sign in with Google, and then another sign in with Apple. And for context, I want to have these like really minimal buttons, like it's very plain. And then it's like, think of it as like a classic pill button, but I want it to be like just a border and a background, nothing else. And then we'll do in here also. Text. And then we'll do .font, .system, with the size being they're really small. Okay. Sure. And then I also want it monospaced. I want it in the foreground style of color dot custom. Let's see. Red, blue, navy. Let's try the blue. I don't know how well it's going to show up. Not that well. So let's do the custom navy still. If it makes sense. Just do instead. And then we'll do another. So in here, I want to create a button. Create a button. Let's pick a button style. Perfect. So then we're gonna create a button that's called create account. And then we'll do dot padding. We will do dot background. Color, or maybe dot custom. Color dot custom white. And then instead in here, we will have something that happens when the button is clicked. Then the dot clip shape, which will be dot capsule. Right, then how do you add a border around the button? Add border to button. Beautiful. Asking so many insightful questions during stream time. What are we building, by the way? Oh, that's a fun question. We are building a little iOS mobile app for intro computer science concepts with little games. But for now, we're just building out a login screen for our application. And then we're going to get it hooked up to a nice little database, hopefully this stream. And get it logging in and everything. Yes. To actually fix the indentations on these. So pretty meh. And like that. Beautiful. Then in here, I want to be able to add in an overlay. Right, so overlay with some rounded rectangles with a corner radius of 0.5. And then dot stroke, color, dot custom navy, and align with let's see that. Style, stroke. And that's not color dot custom navy. Cool. That's definitely in between these, add in some padding or maybe a spacer. Right, spacer up here, and then a spacer down at the bottom. Something like that might work. We'll be using for off. I'm thinking Firebase. Sign in with Google and sign in with Apple, powered by Firebase. But TBD. Create account. Register instead. Maybe we'll swap this order here. Do register instead. Do some little padding towards the bottom, padding, top bottom. No, I don't want that for the moment. So instead, we're going to do that in here. That'll be the spacer. But I think spacer will actually have after the H stack here. And then we'll do little like circular, or maybe pill-shaped. I kind of quite like these buttons actually. We'll just stick with these. And instead of the H stack, we'll do one for, oh, copy too much. We'll do this one like that. We'll do this one for a sign in with Google. And then this other one for sign in with Apple. And then we could do just, I don't need the space at the end here. Apple. And then maybe just some small padding at the bottom. No, because it's going to add the padding to the side. So what does that happen after the overlay? Do that, or instead create a new account. Something like that. Sign with Google, sign with Apple. Register instead, create a new account. Battles. How am I feeling? Because that would bring up the keyboard. Oh, there's no keyboard though needed here, so we are good there. What's this keyboard? Oh no. Sign with Google, sign with Apple, and then register instead, and then create a new account. What if we don't just like a plain white background instead? No, because that's too jarring. Maybe if the font here was slightly lower, like we had a little bit boy, a little bit icon or bit logo or something in here. Could probably get away with designing something eventually if I have too much time to kill. To do, design a cute logo to make this look less sad. Because I liked the vision in my head, but this looks like sad beige right now, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. But I think we're gonna table the design for a little bit and work on actually setting up this setup sign in with Google Firebase. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and set up a new Firebase app. So I'm going to create a new application in here. All right, so I'm going to switch my screen share real quick, open up this window instead on my Firebase console. I'm going to create a new project, call it BitBattle. Sure. Continue. Yes, we will use Google Analytics for my project, and we will use a default account for Firebase. Create a new property for the project, and go from there. I'm enjoying the music though. We might have to revisit that color scheme, that design. Either way, we're going to focus on the actual database for a little bit. Let's click continue. So now inside our project, we're going to go ahead and get this information about our project. So we're going to go in here, get my bundle identifier, our app in the general tab, our app's primary target, and app's BitBattles. I'm going to add nickname iOS BitBattles. No App Store ID yet. Perfect. I'm going to let this do its thing for a second. Download the Google Info Services.plist. Move it into the main app. So grab that. Google Services Info.plist and pop that right in here. Move the files to destination. Okay, perfect. Yep. Next, add in the Firebase SDK. So we're going to open the Swift Package Manager. So packages. Add package dependencies. And we're going to go look for Firebase. Auth. Maybe let's go in here instead. Copy that URL. Search for it. Yep. Of the Firebase iOS SDK. Firebase iOS SDK. Yep. Installations. Copy package. Choose the Firebase libraries that you want to use. Fail to fetch. Okay. So for those of you who are wondering what I'm looking at right now, I am on my lovely little Xcode screen, right? And I've grabbed the iOS package that I need, and it's failing to fetch some stuff. And so we're going to give it a second to do what it needs to get done, and then we will go from there. It's checking out all of the SDKs there, and then we'll pick all of the libraries. Wasn't I supposed to do that earlier? I don't know. I can't do that now. I fucked out. Let's see. Color scheme. Login and registration workflow. We're setting up our database. Yes. Okay, perfect. So now go back in here and I share this screen. Does that make much sense to share the Xcode screen? Yeah. Cool. So if I don't know if y'all can see, but I can go ahead and add in Firebase Analytics, Firebase off. We will need Firebase Firestore as well. And I think that's going to be it for now. We're going to go ahead and run those. And then what we're going to do next is go back here, add in our initialization code, and copy these, well, just this really big one over. So go into the Battles app, then import, what is it, Firebase core. Then in this BitBattles app file, go ahead and add in. I do not have a class app delegates. Yeah, so I need to copy this whole thing over. Then I need the application delegate to just exist right here. See if this gives me any headaches. Seems to be doing good. And then let's go back in through here. You can't see my screen. Let's go back through here. Open this up. All right, and then added that in. Click next. Next steps, you're all set. Let's go ahead and continue to console. We're going to go into my build. We're going to build authentication. We'll get started. And we're going to use Google. Enable. Let's see. So this is going to be our BitBattles. And then let's see. We're going to use that. Save. Go from there. Just stop sharing the screen for a sec while that loads up, and we let it do its thing. I'm going to go ahead and grab this Google Services Info Plist. Move these files over to their destinations and click Finish. Why do we have two info playlists? So instead, we're going to delete this one and rename this one. It's no longer info2. Info.plist. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, right? This has our sign in with Google flow. Now we've clicked done. Yep. And then we're also going to add in sign in with Apple. Enable. Follow the sign in with Apple. Save. Authenticate using Apple. We will follow this in a quick second. We're going to focus on sign in with Google first, and then we will use sign in with Apple. So let's do also another thing where we can go and create a new screen. So I'm going to create a new file. I'll call this, what is it going to be? Home. Swift, sure. And then we will do in here, we'll have import Swift UI, and then a struct home view. Oh, then we should rename this. Home view. Create a struct home view, right? And then we would have type view. I should have just created a new view instead of this. I don't know why I decided to overcomplicate things for myself again, but we'll do a VStack. And then text. We'll do name for now. And then we'll figure out how to get the names from this later. Invalid redeclaration of login. My apologies. Yes, it is. Home view. Cool beans. All right. Now what do we got in here? I'm not sharing my screen, am I? I am not. I do this so often. We're going to go back, go into Bit Battles in here, show this off. So we've went ahead and added in our Google services, right? Yeah, for ads, for analytics, for GCM, for sign-in, right? And then for our Google App ID, right, we have our storage bucket, our project ID, all of this stuff that we need is already stored in here, which is awesome. So up next, what we're going to work on is go in here. All right, we've initialized our Firebase app in here. And then also in our window view, in here, we will do on open URL. We will grab the URL. And then in here, we will handle Google OAuth. URL, and that will be GID sign-in. Except we need to import Google sign-in up here. Nope. Verifying the new package. So that'll take a second. Stream's going well so far. I'm happy. All right, let's see. Okay, we will add Google Sign-In and Google Sign-In Swift right in here. These should refresh that thing where it says there's no such module called Google Sign-In because I've just added one. I just added one, like I said. So cooperate with me, right? Perfect. So GIG sign-in. shared instance, handle, and the actual URL. Cool. And that should work. Beautiful. Now in our login view, we will need to check if our user is already logged in. So we will have, like we kind of mentioned earlier, some persistence checking. We'll have a private variable called state that checks whether the user is logged in, which we get from our auth. We'll need to import Firebase in here as well. Auth. Current user, which is not equal to nil. All right, so we're checking whether there's a user with a valid authentication that already exists. Why is this not working? Not find auth in scope. That is funny. And why can you not find auth in scope? There we go. Apparently I just need to import Firebase auth instead of Firebase general. So who's complaining now? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What? All right. Okay, maybe I wonder if a clean build might help here. I'm gonna try that. And here we're also going to hashtag preview instead of login view. I want to preview the home view. Cool. I'm gonna give this a stab for a little bit. See if that helps. What I can do. Why are we not? What is wrong with us? Still? Ugh. Go to your target's build settings. And Bitcode. Settings tab, build options, and then enable search graphs. Yes. Interesting. Why are we still not cooperating with me? We'll find out, I guess. Hopefully we'll resolve this before tomorrow. Or I don't think I stream part of this tomorrow. I think that back on Sunday only. Which, fair enough. We'll find out. Either way, we've got bit battles, right? Home view. Complaining about for some reason. Guess we'll find out why in a little bit. Wait, let's try to. So if I comment out the state private var, does that fix everything? Because that would be just silly. But I could see how it would fix everything. No, it doesn't. Okay. Now, instead, no. I get tired of things hunched up against my computer screen. Oh, fetch my dryer. That'll be what I'm doing after I'm done with the shit, folding my laundry. So let's see. What could be the problem here? My info plist, not my color spot. Potentially my Google OAuth, right? So let's try commenting out this bad boy for now. And see what happens then. Right, so. See if this unbreaks everything. That would be helpful. Clean it and try to run it from home or from login actually. See if that helps. No, still broken. Ugh. Why? Yeah. We'll sign in, right? That's our. I wonder if I want to instead use this instead of the. Except no. Instead of this whole thing, I haven't done like that. Instead, use the init in here, and then the body some scene. That right, and then if that helps. Not having the app delegate to deal with. How to fix the URL schemes, right? I need to make sure that I have no, I need to do that. So in info, right, settings, URL types. Why is this so wobbly? Hold on. URL schemas. That's a good one. So this is for the playlist. Copy this over. URL types. This one. That's a regular little info. URL types, right? URL scheme. Add that in. Cool. me try to clean this again and rerun and see what happens. Cleaning, competing the dependencies, clean succeeded, preview paused, indexing text, indexing text, indexing text. Still building, still constructing. We're gonna wait, we're gonna hope for the best. Let's see. This might be a pretty slow process. I just want it to work. Ah! Nope. Negative. Define symbol name. Anchor command. Anchor command. Oh, our indexing text is up to 5. That may be a promising sign. I'm gonna hold here. No, 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 no. Why did my whole app just crash? Why did my ID just crash? Ah! It's testing my patience. Is that working? Is it working now? I can't tell. Yuck. Okay. I might take a stab at this before tomorrow, so we're not spending more of the time tomorrow debugging. Well, we will have to see. So my poor computer is so loud right now. It is really chugging along. Yeah, I know Xcode quit unexpectedly. No? Okay, was there or now? No such module. Yeah, I know. I deleted it. You're welcome. So I thought I'd worry about it later. All right, I'm cleaning everything again. I'm frustrated with how little progress we've made in the last like 20, 30 minutes. I think it's been me staring at this error for that long, which is so annoying. All right, it's loading this app target. I do need to go into, it told me in the thing to go to the build settings, go into other linker flags, add in linker flags, go ahead. Object C, right? OBJC. Starting this package thing, adding this package, resolving this dependency. I wonder if I put those in the wrong places because I put them in freaking targets and stuff and projects. Oh, where did I do it? Well, we are struggling. Let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, such module. Okay. Why is this the first time that it told me that this was an error? This import Firebase. It's so strange. Indexing is paused. Yes. Because of the same error. Of course it is. It feels like I'm just stabbing at the wall. And nothing is sticking to this wall. You know what? We're going to take this time while this loads up to talk about our next upcoming streams. See what else we got. Data week. Who is joining us next? Cecilia was on last time. Oh, I got Jocelyn on. Okay, Jocelyn is one of our new MLHers. She is building data to life using Streamlit as her fun technical workshop series of this hackathon. Looks like she's running part 1 starting today, right after mine in about 8 minutes or so. So that's going to be really fun. I'm going to try and get this to work before we come back with this next part over on, for me at the very least, it is Sunday. It should be Sunday for pretty much everybody. But Sunday, right at 8 a.m. Eastern time, is when we will be back with part 2 of this one. Hopefully we'll get more done than just a login screen and a non-functional application with no buttons that I cannot get the darn database to work with for some reason. So that's the plan, my friends, I think. We're going to try and fix that one up and hope for the best. Enjoy my like weird fadey stuff in the background. But I'm going to go ahead and fix up this error, even if it means I have to start from scratch for a bunch, because it is going to annoy me to no end if I cannot get this done. So I am going to go ahead and give Jocelyn a couple minutes to come on. Make sure you head over to her stream, hype her up a little bit. She's great. She's one of our newbies. Give her some love. Tell her Kari says hi. But also, generally speaking, for those of you who stuck around for me trying to debug for an hour, thank you. Much appreciated. It's struggle out here, but we're going to make it work. Now, for anything else that we might need, I'm trying to think. If you are here, don't forget to check in. I'm going to drop the check-in link right on the screen here again. If you have not yet gotten a chance to check in, make sure you go ahead and do that, right? Check-in link right onto here, right there, beautiful check-in link for you. And then also, if you would like to, hopefully see a more updated GitHub repository in a little bit, that should be available soon as well. So I'm going to thank all of you who stuck out with me. It was awesome hanging out with y'all for a little bit. See you on Sunday for part 2. And actually, see me and Quinn tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time for origami. It's going to be Quinn's first live, I guess, Global Hack Week. Yeah, it's Quinn's first Global Hack Week. So join both of us in the mini event channel on Discord, 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Tomorrow for me, today for you, maybe TBD. But it's his first Global Hack Week, and we love welcoming new MLHers to the MLH fam, and to the Global Hack Week hype. All right, my friends, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna debug this thing. Wish me luck. See you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, peeps.